Welcome to our second video. This one is on multiplying decimals together. So let's go ahead and get your note page set up. Get your title up top, Multiplying Decimals Lesson. Then we're going to add our learning standard or learning target here, 6NS2. This time it's fluently multiply decimals. So remember, fluently means to be able to do it kind of smoothly, quickly, without much thought. We want it to be an easy problem. And then our I can statement. I can multiply together two decimals and properly place the decimal point in my answer. That's the one extra trick that we have to pay attention to in these problems. So get those three things filled into your notes and then get ready to start the rest of the lesson.
All right, the first thing we're going to do when multiplying decimals is to go ahead and make an estimate. We can use this estimate at the end of the problem to check to make sure that we're placing the decimal point in the proper place. So 5.8 or 5 8/10 is close to 6. 4 1/10 is close to 4, and 6 times 4 is 24. So when we're done multiplying our problem, our answer should be about 24. So the first thing we're going to do is to multiply that 1 by the 8, which is 8, and then the 1 by the 5, which is 5. Our first row should read 58. Underneath our 8 will be our placeholder or a 0. Then we're going to multiply the tens digit. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. Now adding them up, we get 8, 7, 3, and 2 going from right to left. And our answer of 2,378 isn't close to 24. So this time we need to make sure that we're putting the decimal after the 3 to make it 23.78, which rounds up to 24.
So we got an answer that's close to that estimate, so we know we probably did it correctly. So let's do it again. 3.15, that's about 3. 2.9, that's about 3. Remember, for estimating, you want to make something that's so easy you can do it mentally. You don't want to have to jot the problem down. 3 times 3 means we're expecting an answer somewhere around 9. Notice in the problem, there's no decimal points being lined up, nothing like that. It's just a multiplication problem. 5 times 9 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 4 is 13. 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. So now we're done with the 9. We're going to multiply by the 2. Just remember to start that second row with a 0 or a placeholder there. Cross out our carries from last time so we don't try to use them again. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So we add them up. We have a 5, 3, 11, and 9. And again, our estimate said the answer should be somewhere around 9. So think about, where would I put my decimal point in this answer? Well, if I put it right here, 9.135, that's going to give me something close to 9. So my estimate's correct. So take a look at this line down here. Instead of using our estimate, how else could we figure out where does that decimal point go? It's not like adding or subtracting. It doesn't just slide straight down into our answer. So look back at our first problem. We had 1, 2 digits in the decimal places in our answer. Our decimal point went in 1, 2 spots into our answer. Over here we had 1, 2, 3 digits in the decimal side in the problem. Our decimal came in 1, 2, 3 spots in our answer.
Start from the right, move them over to the left. So if you'd like to pause the video, you're going to write down these 2 key steps. Remember to get these in our notes. Our first step, we are not going to worry about lining up the decimal points like we did in addition and subtraction. We're just multiplying the numbers as if they didn't have the decimal in them. Then that second step, after we're done with our answer, we're going to start on the right, count how many digits you had on the decimal point in the first line, how many you had in the second line after that decimal point, and that's how many we're going to slide in the decimal point in your answer. So for this problem, we're just going to continue to multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 3 is 24. Second row, put your placeholder. Tens digit, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. add them up, 8, 1, 4, and 5. Then that last step, go back to your problem. The first row has 2 numbers after the decimal point. The second row has 1 number after the decimal point. I'm going to start in the right part of the answer and slide that in 3 to make it 5 and 418 thousandths.
Mrs. King is all fancy saying out her decimal
Oh,
point.
jeez.
All right, I got the big one. 11.36 times 14.7. So we're going to have to do 3 rows of multiplication this time.
Right small.
7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 4 is 25. Carry the 2. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. 7 times 1 is 7. Now I'm going to go do my next row. Just because I know it's going to get messy, I'm going to erase my carry marks there. Make my life a little easier. Now I'm going to multiply by my 4. 4 times 6 is, oh, forgot my placeholder. Almost forgot. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. So now on to my third row, which is why Mrs. King didn't want to have to do this problem. She left me the long one.
Small writing.
So now I'm going over to the third digit, the 1, so I need to put in 2 placeholders. Each row you're adding an extra placeholder to kind of bump your answer over. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1. Add it all up. Squeeze it into the bottom down here. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. Plus 6 is 19. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 5 is 13. Plus 3 is 16. 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. And a 1.
I'm going to go back up to that problem, count the number after the decimal places. You have 2 in the first row and 1 in the second row. Start
A total
over
of 3.
to the right on your answer and slide that in 3.
So we come in 3 spots from the right and we get 166.992.
All right, it's your favorite time of the video. You're going to pause it, set up this problem, calculate it, put your decimal in the right place, and then hit play to see if you got it correct. Go for it.
All right, so we've got this one set up for you. Now it's time to check, did we do the problem correctly? Notice we didn't bother with lining up our decimal points, so we don't care when we set up the problem. We're just going to count those decimal points later. So we have our first row is going to be
5,445. Our second row is going to read 12,100. Our sum is 17545. Now, did you put the decimal in the right place? You have 3 on that top row, plus the 2 in the second row for a total of 5. So starting on the right, you're going to slide it all the way to the front of the number, and then try to read it out loud.
So you have 17,545, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 100 thousandths.
Get that out of the way, yeah.
All right, sorry about that there. All right, hopefully you did well on this last problem. If you're still having trouble with the process of the multiplication or where to find your decimal points, try going back and rewatching part of it if you need to, or come to class with questions and we'll go over it tomorrow in class.